Are you happy?
Two co-stars were supposed to promote a movie about pain, survival, and domestic violence. Instead, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni ended up in a legal war so intense that it threatened to drag their reputations, their film, and the darker side of Hollywood filmmaking into open court. And then, just 2 weeks before trial, it stopped. No dramatic courtroom showdown, no public verdict, no final winner announced. According to AP, Lively and Baldoni agreed to settle their civil case, ending a dispute that began around the troubled production of It Ends With Us. But the settlement did not erase the questions. It only made them louder. Because this was never just about one film. It was about what allegedly happened behind the scenes. It was about reputation. It was about power. And most of all, it was about who the public was supposed to believe. So the real question is not simply why Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni settled. The real question is, how did a movie built around such a sensitive message become overshadowed by accusations, counterclaims, and a battle over public image? At the center of this story are two actors who were once tied together by the same project. Blake Lively starred in It Ends With Us, the 2024 film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel about a relationship that devolves into domestic violence. Justin Baldoni not only starred alongside her, he also directed the film. On the surface, this should have been a major Hollywood success story. The movie was released in August 2024 and exceeded box office expectations. But according to AP, the falling out between Lively and Baldoni pulled attention away from the film itself, overshadowing both its message and its success. Then the dispute moved from behind-the-scenes tension into legal warfare. Lively sued Baldoni and his production company, Wayfarer Studios, at the end of 2024. Her claims included allegations that Baldoni sexually harassed her on set, and that he later conspired with publicists to damage her reputation after she privately accused him. Baldoni denied the allegations. Weeks later, he sued Lively, her husband Reynolds, and their publicist, accusing them of defamation and extortion. Suddenly, this was no longer just a film controversy. It had become a full-scale Hollywood legal battle. And that is why the drama exploded. And the statement they released was carefully worded. They said they stood behind raising awareness and making a meaningful impact in the lives of domestic violence survivors. They also said they hoped the agreement would bring closure and allow everyone involved to move forward constructively and in peace, including creating a more respectful environment online. They also said Lively's concerns deserve to be heard, while reaffirming a commitment to workplaces free of improprieties and unproductive environments. That wording matters, because it does not give the public a simple ending. It does not say one side was fully right and the other was fully wrong. It does not reveal the terms of the settlement. AP reported that those terms were not disclosed. So what remains is a story with no clean resolution. For Blake Lively, the situation placed her reputation at the center of the storm. She was not only alleging misconduct, but also alleging a campaign to damage her public image after she raised concerns. Her legal position framed the issue as more than on-set discomfort. It framed it as retaliation. For Justin Baldoni, the stakes were just as serious. He had built public recognition not only as an actor and director, but also as someone associated with conversations about masculinity and social issues. He denied harassment and denied orchestrating a smear campaign. His side argued that Lively's claims were fabricated as part of a fight over control of the movie. That made the conflict especially explosive, because both public images were vulnerable. Lively was known from Gossip Girl, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, and other films. Baldoni was known from Jane the Virgin, directing 5 Feet Apart, and writing Man Enough. Both had careers built on more than one project. But one ugly legal fight can change how audiences interpret everything. And the biggest consequence may be what happened to the film itself. It Ends With Us was supposed to center a story about domestic violence. Yet the public discussion shifted toward legal filings, accusations, denials, publicists, and reputation management. The message was overshadowed by the making of the movie. And then came the detail that made the whole case even more difficult to read. The judge acknowledged the complexity of creative work itself, noting that artists need some space to experiment within an agreed script without automatically facing sexual harassment liability. That does not erase Lively's concerns. It does not prove Baldoni's defense. But it shows why this case was never simple. It sat at the intersection of art, boundaries, power, reputation, and law. Now the legal battle is over. But the questions are not. Was the settlement truly closure, or simply the least damaging exit for everyone involved? Did it protect the film's message, or did it leave the public with even more uncertainty? And in Hollywood, when a private dispute becomes a public spectacle, can anyone really walk away untouched?